Hey folks, well, Austin Matthews keeps on shattering records. The Buds have rolled off a couple of wins. What can we expect? What's happening? Well, you know what? We're going to break it all right down for you here on the OZone.
You're in the offensive zone, your place for Leafs hockey.
Hey folks, welcome to the OZone. That's Coach. That's Katie, and I'm the Diva. We're here to talk all things Leafs. Listen, before we get into it, I want to start by mentioning our sponsor, Jeffrey Fulton, realtor to the stars here in Toronto. Buying, selling, he's got you covered. All your realty needs. Check him out. All right, let's get into it, folks. The Leafs have beat the Stars and Habs since the last time we talked. 4 points. OT needed in one of the games. 1-goal games. The Leafs were out shooting those two teams 81-44 collectively. So, what'd you see, Katie?
Well, we got wins. That was the most important thing, and we played pretty good hockey. I think perhaps a little bit loose the last game. Some kind of breakaways and open goals there, which we didn't like. But for the most part, they played better hockey than the teams they played. I mean, I think they probably won 5 or 6 of the last 6 periods. So I think that's a good sign. And it's been the Austin Matthews show. I think that part is fine. I think the defensive and fun to watch, certainly, with Matthews scoring at will. And I'm liking the pairs. They're trying new combinations, and it seems like the D are much more solidified than they were, call it 6-7 weeks ago. So I think that's all positive. I'd maybe like to see Spezza take more draws in the defensive zone when that fourth line is on there, and Blackwell is struggling a bit on those draws, but I think Blackwell's playing pretty well.
Yep.
I think Kampf is playing great. That third line is looking sharp too, and he's back to winning virtually every draw and looks very solid in his own end. So I think it's great.
Yeah, that's a good call. I agree. I kind of like what the D has been doing with the mixed bag. Nice to see Muzzin getting some tough minutes and actually looking pretty good out there. That gives you certainly a good feeling for what's to come. Coach, what'd you think?
I caught my second game of last week here in Big D. It was an awesome night. So just smiles from ear to ear. From anybody, even Stars fans in that one, they stole a point. They were so outplayed. But here's a few pictures I took. We had a subscriber meetup beforehand. Here's the table. You Canadian guys will like that it was at Moxie's. The guy who owns all the Moxies in Dallas is the owner of the Stars, Gilardi. Right. So there you go. I found this picture was pretty cool. There's a couple of Spezza jerseys. He didn't play. He should have played.
Yeah.
It was a Babcock thing to do not to play him there, but then I'll get into that another time. Not bad seats, So we're sitting behind the net. That was good. That's where I like to sit. I can see the D. I can see Sandin get out of position. But since he's hurt, we have been rolling pretty good. Here's a couple of guys in particular. These guys are from Newfoundland. The guy in the middle, we call him Noof. And the guy on the other side, we call him Noof Jr., who plays on our beer league team. Everybody's wearing a 34 jersey. Fellas, probably 1,034 jerseys in the building there again. Unbelievable. Right. And people were so fired up because Matthews, he sets not just the Leaf record, but most goals by an American-born player. Everyone in the U.S., people come up to you and say, that Matthews, he's the best player in the league. They're saying it because he's American, right? I don't care. He's been rolling. Yeah. So Mrs. Coach and I in the past week, we saw Matthews score goals 52, 53, 54, 55, and 56. That was pretty solid. Here's a guy here from Kapuskasing, Ontario. And he brought these little cards, so when he scores in overtime, he puts the 56 up. That's pretty good. Yeah. So then he scores a couple, and he's got 51 goals in his last 50 games. I mean, what a run, right? So it made me think of this guy here, the Red Rocker, Sammy Hagar. His first album with Van Halen was titled 5150. So I was thinking about that. I have quoted the philosopher before. I might do so again. Here's a little quote from the song Dreams. I got to get the glasses on for this. So. We'll get higher and higher. Leave it all behind. So, baby, dry your eyes. Save all the tears you've cried. That's what dreams are made of. So, I mean, we're rolling, right? We're on such a great trajectory. But, guys, I've been a Leaf fan for 53 years. Mm-hmm. I'm going to go kick that football. It's going to get jerked away. I've got some angst now returning because we're going so good. Are we peaking a little early? I'm getting nervous. I mean, not like mid-90s Alanis level angst, but probably Scott Weiland of Stone Temple Pilots about four weeks after he got out of rehab. Like that kind of angst. Like I'm getting a little itchy, you know? I hope to God that this is the year that something doesn't go wrong. I've been a part of this so many times, guys. I'm trying to stay positive.
Well, that's all you can do. And let's hope they keep winning. Yeah, listen, both of you guys touched on it, and I think maybe this is a good opportunity for us to drill down on it a little bit. Keith's certainly been mixing up the bag of D. Liljegren has been the odd man out a couple times of late. It's amazing how much Lyubushkin, who was really a bit of a throw-in, we thought, in that early trade deadline acquisition, and he's really endeared himself, I think, to Keith as a mainstay in the lineup. I mean, he's playing up with Morgan Riley quite a bit. So I guess maybe this is a good time to talk about what we need to do back there, who needs to play with who, and then where do we settle? What do we think is going to give you your best shot? And I'm not 100% sure that this isn't something they can keep doing going into the postseason and maybe roll a couple guys in and out of the lineup depending on how games are going. Let's start with you, Coach. What do you think needs to happen on the defensive side with these pairings?
So we got 10 games left. We got a 5-point bulge, right? It's between second and third. We're in really good shape here. And, Devo, we'll probably talk about the schedule coming up here in a bit. But now is the time just to see who can play with who. They have done that. Mm-hmm. I don't think any of us, when we got rid of Nick Ritchie, as you said, saw Lyubushkin coming in, certainly not playing with Riley. And that's been going okay. I'm not completely sold on it, but it's pretty solid. This is the way they looked in the Montreal game, right? Riley with Lyubushkin again.
Yep.
Muzzin with Brody, and he did play some tough minutes, and then Giordano with Hall. They already know Giordano and Liljegren work. They're trying Giordano and Hall. I'd like to see Hall for a couple games with Riley, just to see if that would work. Mm-hmm. And I think Liljegren's going to work in sort of here and there. Basically, you got two spots between Lyubushkin, Hall, and Liljegren, right? So I actually think that on the left side, Giordano's going to flip with Muzzin. Muzzin's going to be a third pair guy, but as we talked about before, second and third pair don't really matter that much.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that I'd love to just pick the guy who works best with Riley. Riley is the guy that really needs somebody. Brody can play anywhere. Giordano and Hall are going to play on that left side. And then between Liljegren and Lyubushkin and Hall, whoever the two guys are going. It's great to have some depth, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Katie, what do you think about that?
Well, I think Scotty hit the nail on the head at the end there for sure. I mean, the key for them in the playoffs to go anywhere is to unlock Riley, right? I mean, he needs to be playing free. He needs to be playing well. Whoever's going to be that guy on the side, and we won't go back to say that's why we wanted the right D to help him out. But I really do think the second and third pairs are going to be fine in the playoffs. I think they're going to be good. Like almost every combination we've seen has been encouraging. So that part is good. The key will be squeezing the best out of 44. And if you can do that, I think the rest of them are going to be fine together. And I think what's neat too is that I think you really have the potential to do 2 and 3 playing equal minutes rather than going, Riley's up to 24 and the second pair plays a lot and the third, you kind of spin in. I think the third pair can really play more key minutes depending on how it's lined up. So I'm encouraged again. Let's throw them in the blender and keep doing it until we can get 44 going, and that's the key.
I agree. I agree with both of you guys. I think we're on to it in the same way. I do want to see Justin Hall with Morgan Riley. I think he is a bit of a stay-at-home guy. I think he can settle things down for Morgan, and maybe we see if 44 can can be a little bit free with that combination, and it's really the one combination that's probably been played the least amount. So that I would like to see. Ultimately, the guys that you saw in the lineup in that Montreal game, and we'll put this back up on the screen here, I kind of feel like those are your 6 guys. I love that Liljegren can come in off the bench, and because Brody can switch over to the left-hand side, it means that's your 7th guy. You don't have to have if someone goes down, you have to have Sandin come in.
Right.
Brody can slide over because you've tested this. So I kind of feel like that's your set. And if you need to bring in maybe for a little bit more offense or to be a little bit quicker, depending on how a series is going, you can swap one of those guys out and maybe have Liljegren in there, because he certainly showed playing with Giordano that he can be a high event
the nerds
kind of guy.
love him, right? Yeah. So one thing, we know that we can unlock Riley by playing him with Brody.
Right.
But we've got Brody on the second pair because now that is rock solid, right?
Right.
We're way better if Brody doesn't have to be Riley's caddy. If he can go, lead a second or third pair. So it'll be interesting to see how it plays out.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, the one thing we haven't seen yet is Brody and Giordano having a reuniting. So that would be kind of the thing to be interesting to see, is see 55 and 78 playing together and 44 and 3.
Yeah, if they can do that, that's great. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Then you got Muzzin, Liljegren, Lyubushkin. Lyubushkin had 10 hits against Montreal.
Yes.
That guy's going to be good in the playoffs.
You got to have him on the – that's what I think. He's got to play in the playoffs. Okay. All right, folks, listen, this is what we always do here, and this is why you keep coming back. This is when we lay it all on the line. We're going to make some predictions. Next game, Leafs host Buffalo on Tuesday night. It's going to be one of those special events, folks, because the entirety of the OZone will be in one building. Coach is coming up, and we're all going to the game together. Not only that, it'll be a game where one of our lucky subscribers, Douglas Allison, will be in attendance too, as he won the big ticket giveaway. So that'll be exciting, and we're looking forward to that. What's going to happen in the game, KD?
Okay, calling for some revenge. They have to. It's going to get ugly. I think it's going to be. I think we'll see Simmons playing it for sure. I think it's going to. There'll be some bad blood. I'm calling for the Leafs to win a high-scoring game, 5-3, and we see number 60. We see number 60 for 34. Set up 2 goals, maybe the winner, and we're celebrating in the streets after.
Oh wow. Cancel your meetings on Wednesday.
I'm taking the next day off, so I'm calling for a 5-3 win. So there we go.
Okay, Coach.
I also have him scoring a 60, 59 and 60. Be fantastic. The place will go bonkers, right?
Bonkers.
I would love to see it. Even more bonkers than when we were there in the Columbus game and Nick Ritchie scored his first. But I'm calling a 6-3 win. And I'm looking forward to meeting Doug, our contest winner. Doug, the draw was not fixed. It was random that we picked your name. The credit card roulette before the game will be fixed. So thanks in advance for picking up the check, bud.
That's great. Yes. You know what? I think the Leafs are done playing down to their opponents. They have a bunch of weak opponents on their schedule. I think 5 or 6 teams that are not really sitting in playoff spot between now and the end of the year. I think they're going to start stepping on some throats, and it starts Tuesday night against the Sabres. I think that it's going to get ugly. I don't know if the fisticuffs are going to come out, Kev, but I think what the Leafs are going to want to do and how the team is beat is they're going to want to put a touchdown on them. They're going to want to score. I don't know if it's going to get that ugly, but I think that's what they're going to do. They're going to keep the puck. They're not going to give it back, and they're going to absolutely beat them down. I'm calling for a 5-1 win. I think special teams gets a couple. All right, well, there you have it, folks. The season never disappoints. We got the ups, we got the downs, the joy, the sadness, but hey, we're going to ride it out with you. We're going to ride it out right here on the OZone.